there, my name is HW. Thanks so much for watching Tone Drinking TV. Today, I want to talk about this. It's the CRESTLINE collection. I got together all of these amps. It's all these mid-60s Gibson CRESTLINE amps. And they sound really fantastic. I've really been intrigued by Gibson amps for a long time. These CRESTLINEs were sort of the versions of the amps that came out in the kind of early to mid 60s, and they changed them in kind of the later 60s to look a little different. Gibson was sort of doing the type of like, I can do that too kind of thing with Fender. So a lot of their amp designs actually kind of almost correspond to a corresponding Fender amp. So like this amp right here, it's the Gibson Skylark, and it's actually kind of like Gibson's version of a Champ. All right, so here I am in Rig Manager, and that's a really beautiful sound, you know? It's lovely to play, it's beautiful, it's clean. If I put it on like a different pickup, like the neck pickup, then I can really dig in. And that's really beautiful. You contrast that to something, contrast it to something like the Scout, the TJ Scout. So this is like the Gibson CRESTLINE Scout, and it's really a lot warmer. It reminds me a lot of the Princeton in terms it's got like, it's still a two-knob amp, but it's got reverberation stuff. And it kind of reminds me of almost like a tuxedo Princeton, you know? It sounds like this. Juicy, kind of much warmer. Even when you try to clean it up, for me, this is the most dirty one. It probably has the most to do with the speaker. That one has like an old school Jensen, whereas the other one had like a Fender Blue Label, which would be an Oxford. It's actually not original to the Skylark, but that's the one I have in mind. That's how I profiled it. The Scout is really that like rock and Princeton thing. You compare that now to one of my favorite amps in here. This is one of my favorite amps in here. The Hawk Circuit, and dude, this thing, it's got 210 CTS speakers. It's the most like, I guess, maybe it's like a Vibrolux or a Super Reverb or something kind of in that vein. Okay, I love this amp because the cleans sound beautiful. They sound tight, and that is the 10-inch kind of CTS speaker. Obviously, I'm playing a baritone here, but you can really get like a really just beautiful like. It's just a really beautiful, tight in the bass type of sound thing. And speaking of bass, there's actually a bass amp in here that's really cool. It's called the Atlas. And the way I have it EQ'd is it's a little bit dark, but you can come in here and up the definition, and people like it for this sort of thing. It's absolutely like a thunderous punch in the face, just like. You can also play it up high though. A lot of people have loved this Atlas amp because it does work so well as a guitar amp too, and kind of playing that same thing, it sounds like this. So, very cool amp. This one actually I think is the most unique sounding of all of them. Because if you try to do like a nasty blues thing, it really does sound like a big blues amp or something. Let me turn that delay on. It's funny, a lot of people don't know this. So the steel string Singer is actually like most like an Ampeg SVT in the power section, because you want that tight, big, low end to be sort of adulterated by the lack of guitar ability to like push out, you know, low, tight, firm, low end. And this feels like that sort of thing because it is a bass amp. Kind of you really get a feel for how it's breaking up, but there's actually a lot of headroom like in the low end. It's different than a guitar amplifier. It's very different. Last one we'll show you and I'll talk about today is just the Invader. It's a really cool one, but to me, I don't know what this one would be like exactly. It's more rockin', it's a little more mid-rangey. Even with a Strat on the bridge, it's gonna sound pretty thick and full. Check out the Crestline collection. It's on the website. Thanks so much for watching. I've been HW.